The farmland in America was lost back in the 70s because the banks talked the farmers in a plan to take their land. They talked them into financing a lot of new equipment and such to grow their farms, to grow greater crops, to make more money. And they appealed to what they normally appeal to, people's basic sense of greed, where the farmers could have kept themselves busy and fed their families and their communities, and a lot of America for many years doing it the way they were doing it. Now everything had to be better. And as soon as they got them in debt, then they legislated against the farmers, making it impossible for the farmers to sell their crops, having to do with things going on in Russia at the time and such. So basically, they lied to them and they took the farmland in foreclosures. This was so that their long term plan of taking over America could proceed. They had a company that was already in place at that time called Monsanto that needed huge tracts of farmland out in the West in order to produce food in an electrochemical experiment, biotechnological experiment. And they say it would be beneficial, but it would basically be beneficial to them because they would control food. Now, Monsanto comes from a family. That's their name, Monsanto, or it was. These people change their names all the time, so who knows, exactly, and why they chose that. Anyway, they are derived from people who were slave traders down in around Louisiana back in the 1700s or so, and that's how they gained a lot of their initial wealth. And then once you get a little wealth, if you're not afraid of a little wet work or a little illegal work, you can really make a lot of money in a country like America, but not America today, because all the money making is being kept among a few people, and this is being enforced by law enforcement and their surveillance state, the police state and the attendant surveillance state. Basically, it's just to keep a lid on money making. They're afraid that, some guy like me who is really a bull in a china shop or a loose cannon is going to make a little money and just totally upset their apple cart. Well, I got news for you kids. It's going to happen anyway, and it doesn't matter, because the more you keep your money away from people, the less valuable it becomes. You can sit on all that paper all you want, but it doesn't even make good toilet paper in the long run. People are starting to buy back into silver and gold. They're going to start bartering a lot more. The internet is here, and you might be able to shut that down a little bit, but you can't keep it dead forever. I know that you control the electro grid. I know that you control government. You can tear up the roads. I saw it in New Mexico as soon as Bill Richardson wasn't getting the taxes he thought were due to him and his cronies out there. They started doing all kinds of road work and shoveling these contracts and profits off to their relatives, but they were actually tearing the roads up. So I know how you are. I know how you deal with things, and I know just how spiteful and belligerent and mean you can be. But you know what? I'm not alone. There's a lot of us in the world who are understanding that too, and it's almost time for a comeuppance. It's almost time to get you out. What America needs to do is get people in there that matter, that can actually make change, will look out for America's welfare, and not just for a few rich families who fancy themselves royalty, or who are actually royalty once or twice removed, and want to keep a lid on the money, want to keep a lid on the currency, want to redefine your rights as benefits.